Doo-doo-doo-doo. Welcome to Joey News, the latest on computers. Right, wow, got the latest news. Alright, I'm so glad you came tonight to watch the news with Joey on Oatmeal. You know, I've been building computers off and on for more than 10 years. Oh man, I feel like I know everything. I don't, but I'll tell you what. Sometimes I get a little upset, when people don't listen to me. I'm like, oh man. Like, you want to build something, or you want to buy something. Actually, what am I saying? Here's what I'm trying to say. I feel like a lot of times people talk to each other and they have no idea what they're talking about. And I feel like really depends, like, what you want to do. And like, if you're building a computer, you really gotta know what you need and not just what you want, and not just be like blindsided by a bunch of gimmicks that you see online or wherever you are. Like, it's so easy to get lost in that, and I think people do that. They have no idea what they need because they just get lost in the numbers. Like, oh, this has more, a higher number of the RAM and the CPU and the GPU and everything else. And it's like, you gotta really have a backbone, and you really gotta know what the bare minimum is for the computer that you need, and for the monitor. And you got to decide whether or not you can do with the monitor or a TV. A TV and a monitor, they're both the same. They could be the same. They might be a little different, but you really got to get down to business in understanding what you need, which is challenging. So you really got to use a reference of whatever you got, whatever you know, and start from that, as opposed to being blindsided by whatever magical number that you think is the greatest for, like, the RAM and the how many gigahertz it might have and everything else. Like, I think a lot of people just get so lost in the newest numbers, and you really need to stay relative to what you know. Otherwise, you're not gonna have a good reference point to going to the next level. And you should take it a step at a time. And either you're gonna spend as much money as possible to buy the best thing ever that you think is the best computer ever, or you may try to buy something at the lowest price ever. Either one could be a big mistake, but it really depends. But I may not have all the numbers right in front of me right now. I showed you my papers earlier. Look, I'm a news reporter. Here's my desk. I'm telling you what's up. I'll put my papers away because there's too many. But it's like, if you got a lot of money that you can just put on fire and burn and swim in, then go ahead, buy the most expensive computer in the world, I guess. But for me, I don't have money, so I would, if I had a little bit of money, I would buy every individual part as much as possible and put the parts together and do a custom build. And when you put the parts together, and when you basically assemble a computer, a desktop, it's not very hard compared to assembling a laptop, which is possible too, but it's a little bit more challenging. Or a cell phone, which is even smaller, but cell phone is a laptop, and a laptop is a desktop. And it's like, there's only a few parts, and so it's like, you start with a motherboard. Try to get the best motherboard ever. and the best kind of motherboard. It should have as many different RAM slots as possible, and it should take in the best type of RAM possible, and you have to consider the different types of RAMs. Like the newest one might be DDR4. I don't know if there's a DDR5, but then there are other types of RAM, and those may be better. Don't know exactly, but you really gotta know what the best kind of RAM is. You really gotta know what the best kind of CPU is. Is it Intel? Is it AMD? Well, a lot of people have been going back and forth on that for so many years. And what's the best kind of GPU? And then there's a bunch of other numbers that have to do with like the cache and the different speeds in the RAM, in the CPU, the bus. And there's like different parts, that has to do with the motherboard and the data that's going through the motherboard to and from the CPU and the RAM. And you really want to be focused on that. And then also on the hard drive. And if you get down to it, it's like you really want to be focused on those key components and focus in on those things. You focus in on the RAM, the CPU, the hard drive, and the motherboard. So that how many different parts is that? Motherboard, CPU, RAM, hard drive. When I say CPU, I include GPU, even though they're two different separate units. I guess you can just count it as a separate unit, but CPU and GPU, they're similar, and they used to be included in one, but now, the gamers are like, oh, we need them separate, so they're separate. But, it's basically the same thing, but it's two different units. So what are you going to do? Thank you for watching Joey News. Wow, what a busy news story. We did not get to our top stories like Elon Musk tried to take over alien Twitter on the planet Mars. Oh my god. Till next time, I am Joey Arnold. Goodbye. You are the weakest link. Arnold out.